pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I think, Commission, you've already met our new commissioner, Mike Scary. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you.
Welcome everyone tonight. Appreciate you coming out. And first thing that's on the agenda is we're going to have public comments. And this will be comments that do not relate to anything on the public hearing under item number 5A, B, or C. So what I'd like to do is go ahead and open it up to anybody that has any comments tonight. We'll limit you to 5 minutes per citizen. Anyone here wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I'll go ahead and close that. And we'll move on to agenda item 3, approval of planning commission meeting minutes for January 16th. Commissioners, have you had a chance to read through them? Any changes?
Nope.
Motion?
I second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving on to agenda 4, approval of planning commission meeting minutes for January 29th. Do I have a motion on that?
I'll motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Very good. All right, we're going to move right into the public hearings. And the first one on the agenda is item 5A. It's a code amendment request by Joe Simmons, applicant, and Jack Martin, section 42-9, lighting and minimum off-street parking, specific requirements by use. The request is to include additional language to the retail store or personal service establishments and banks, minimum off-street parking spaces requirements to exclude the non-public areas such as stock rooms and storage areas from the overall minimum parking calculation of the building. And if you would, please give us a little overview of the amendment change.
Yeah, of course. So unfortunately, due to a public advertising error, we are having to have this public hearing again because the News Messenger only published one of the 2 required. But besides that, nothing has changed with this proposed amendment. As you can see there, that's the wording that is proposed, and it is within a retail store or personal service establishment and banks, and essentially what it will do is it'll exclude any non-public area from the final parking calculation for the business.
Very good. Okay. Anyone here wishing to address the amendment on item 5A? Seeing no one, I'll go ahead and close that, and we'll take either discussion after the public hearings and possibly some action on that. So moving on to item number B, rezoning request by Radford Development of Virginia LLC property owner and the High Tech Collision LLC applicant, rezone property located on the east side of the intersection of Badger Street Northwest and Elk Drive Northwest, identified as tax parcel 525-A-44A, parcel ID 026060, consisting of approximately 2.265 acres from B3 General Business District to I1 Limited Industrial District. The property is designated as residential on the future land use map on Christiansburg Comprehensive Plan. What I'd like to do also at this point is, since the 2 items A, B, and C address the same property, I would like to go ahead and include that public hearing at the same time so that it's a rezoning and a conditional use permit. So reading item C is a request for a conditional use permit request by the same LLC company to allow for automotive and trucks or recreational vehicles assembling, painting, upholstery, repairing, rebuilding, or reconditioning, body or fender work, including a commercial garage, towing service, or auto body shop in the I-1 Limited Industrial Zone District on property located on east side of intersection of Badger Street Northwest and Elk Drive Northwest, identified as the same parcels that I noted in the above. So, staff, if you would, just give us an overview of these two public hearings together.
Yeah, so High Tech Collision, the applicant, is requesting a rezoning from B3 to I1 with a proffer statement, and if granted, a subsequent CUP to allow an auto body shop, detailing shop, and towing service. High Tech Collision currently operates an auto body repair shop at the adjacent property, and they're hoping to use this opportunity to expand their business while ensuring compliance with this new CUP. And additionally, they've also provided a list of suggested conditions, which you can find in your staff report.
Very good. So at this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing to both item B and C. And anyone wishing to speak on these two public hearings, please approach the podium. State your name and your address.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. My name is John Neal. I'm an engineer with Foresight Design here, located at 1260 Radford Street in Christiansburg. I do have a handout to give you if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
What I passed out to you is a floor plan, but I want to just briefly talk about High Tech Collision, the business. Mr. Myers is here to answer any questions you have as well. He's right now running just down the page, as you see it there, running his successful collision repair business, and has outgrown that space. That building is a little over between 5,000 and 6,000 square feet, and we're proposing an almost 12,000 square foot building with, as you've seen in our application package, fenced in area and rear storage area, as well as multiple parking spaces for customers, and then also as things get dropped off to be given estimates and then put in the shop, and then when they're repaired for pickup. So we have a much more formalized area here on the proposal. Then you can kind of see where there he started operating there, renting that facility from Mr. Rice. Mr. Rice is here as well, and he's been coordinating, working on purchasing the property above us and developing into the new High Tech Collision. So he would move, and I think she mentioned expansion. It is expansion, but it's actually relocation and expansion then. So this site would move, and you can kind of see, and I think that's one of the issues that Mr. Myers has had, is pretty limited space. And he does have a growing business and wants to shift up the hill, but that does require the rezoning and then also the CUP. We had worked with Andrew on staff and looked at some of the conditions that were placed on a previous similar business. One of the things that I would request, I think the staff mentioned in their staff report, they wanted to take out the general conformance and make it match the site plan. We're pretty early at that stage. I'd really like to request to leave in those general terms, because we're showing the building on here as being 143 feet by 100 feet. As we work with an architect and work on the specifics of things, that might adjust slightly. So I really hesitate to lock us down 100% to this. We think we'll certainly be in even substantial conformance with what we show here. But I don't want to completely remove all opportunity to make adjustments. If y'all could see for that. One of the things you'll notice if you drive up Badger Street, those dumpsters are sitting right out there at the street on that site. We're showing enclosed dumpsters at the rear of the parking area. We're showing fenced-in area around the building and around the parking. I think it's a much improved space for Mr. Myers and the town of Christiansburg. Be more than happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you.
generate dust?
So the building is completely enclosed, and so they have, and Mr. Myers could possibly speak to that, but they have air handlers and things like that because they are doing painting as well. So they have to have a pretty clean environment for the painting. And everything, all the work would be taken indoors. I don't think even the facility that he has now really generates any dust that would carry out beyond the confines of the building.
Okay, thank you, Mr. McNeil.
Thank you
Do
all.
have some other questions?
Sure, happy to
Mr.
answer
Grant?
anything you have.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak on these two public hearing items?
My name is Brian Rice. I live at 2440 Hitching Post, and I'm the adjacent owner, and I'm in support of the rezoning. I would like to see Mr. Myers expand his business, and we've known for quite some time that he's run out of space, and it'd be a great opportunity for him to expand. And I think the property is the comprehensive plan calls for residential, but we've had a lot of people look at the property over the years, and even the current owner, I believe, is a residential builder, and it just doesn't lend itself to residential building. So I think it'd be a great opportunity for the town to rezone it and allow an existing business to expand. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Price. Anyone else wishing to speak on these two public hearings? Okay, seeing none, I'll go ahead and close this part of the agenda. And we're gonna, later on have discussion on these two items, so please stick around, and we may have some additional questions for you. Moving on to, item number 6, where we have some action, that needs to take place tonight. This is not a public hearing, so this is an action among the commissioners, and it's a conditional use permit request by Roger Woody, registered agent RWW 36 LLC, property owner, and basically, I think we've gone through this once before. This is the Verge Apartments, and basically, there's some changes that went into place, modifications that were made, basically going from 209 multifamily dwellings down to 206. Let's see. I'm not going to read through all the parcels and all the tax parcel IDs on this because we've been through this before. At this point, staff, did you want to add some comments here?
Yeah, so there haven't been any changes since the public hearing, but like you said, kind of the major points are there's 3 less proposed units, no longer a single urban form building. It's being split into 2. The parking layout has been modified a little bit, and then the clubhouse design has been split up into 3 separate structures instead of the original one. But those were the major original changes.
Okay, commissioners, any questions relating to this?
Nope, I didn't have any questions last time, anything that stood out to me, sir.
Are we ready to take some action tonight? Okay. Very good. Excellent. Do I have a motion?
I will motion to approve the conditional use permit requested by Roger Woody as stated in 6A of the Plan Commission agenda for today.
Second.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Mr. Johnson, I'd just like to point out that there are 4 conditions.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wanted to make sure that if it's the pleasure of Planning Commission that the motion include the conditions. And the 4 conditions are: the project will be developed in general conformance with the master plan submitted dated January 19th, 2024. The approved conditional use permit shall only be for the specific residential use as described in this application. And I'm sorry, there's only 3 of the 3 conditions. And the third one is the indoor recreational amenities located in the center section clubhouse, currently planned as a media room, 24-hour fitness center, game room with billiards tables, kitchen, business center, and leasing center shall be completed prior to the issuance of their certificate of occupancy for the 75th apartment unit.
Perfect. Can I have an amended motion?
Does anyone have any questions about those?
No. All right, so the motion is on the table to approve the CUP.
If I may
With the-
quickly wordsmith that a little bit, because I do think it was from the original language that that included the clubhouse as one
There's
building.
three.
Right.
Is that correct? Yeah. So I think that it says the indoor recreational amenities located in the center section clubhouse. That it would really be, it would be the three, and Mr. Simonis might be able to speak.
Yeah, the
To that
intent,
as well.
we split this from one clubhouse building to three, actually after we resubmitted this amendment. The intent is, they'll have a clubhouse, they'll have a leasing office, they'll have the exercise room, and the fitness, the community room. The intent is all three of those would be open and usable for their residents by that 75th RMCA.
Very good. Thank you. Okay,
And just to confirm, what's your recommendation on the wording?
And is that included in this language, the center section clubhouse?
Yeah,
That-
the
so-
center
so that-
section clubhouse is.
That would be with these amenities, okay.
Okay,
And then there are the standalone, the other buildings that would be separated, which would be the bathrooms and,
but they would not, according to this, they would not be required to be completed in order to take occupancy.
so it
correct?
would only, as I read this, it would only be that center building.
They will be ready.
Yeah.
What we'll do, I'll make this commitment to planning commission, we'll clean that condition up before it goes to council.
Okay.
The intent is all three of those buildings would be operable,
Okay.
for the 75th.
perfect.
RMCA.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor and I have a second. Take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. All right, moving on to item number 6B. Conditional use permit request by Rockstep Christiansburg LLC, property owner, to allow carnival from April 28th, 2024 to May 12th, 2024. The property is located at 782 New River Road Northwest, parcel 435-A-41, parcel ID 007741, zoned as General Business District B3. The proposed time period includes setup and operation of the carnival. And I believe we've had this year after year. So staff, anything to add?
Yeah, so no new updates have been submitted since the public hearing. This is the carnival we've had the past few years. The applicant typically requests the CUP each year, and to date, there haven't been any known issues. And also, we have the list of proposed conditions that were approved last year.
Very
Are there
good.
any changes to the previous year's conditional use permit application or the conditions from previous years? Okay.
Well, just to update
The dates, sure.
Is this the same location?
It is, it will be in the parking lot of Uptown Christiansburg, right to the side of Belk. So it's on it is on the Peppers Ferry, the North Franklin side, and that was one citizen call that we did get that was just inquiring. It was a resident that lived on the other side of the railroad tracks off of Stafford Road, and they did want to know where it was, because it had been 1 year, and I think there were some comments from residents in past years, in one past year when it was on the opposite side of the mall near Kohl's.
Okay, and any concerns from staff or issues that the town had from last year?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, well, at this point in time, do we feel comfortable taking a vote? All right, can I have a motion to approve the conditional use permit for the Rockstep Christiansburg LLC?
I'll move to approve
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Passes. Now we'll circle back. Appreciate you coming out. We're gonna circle back to the two public hearing items for the rezoning and conditional use permit that relates to the High Tech Collision LLC. So, at this point in time, we're gonna open it up to the commissioners to, ask questions, share their concerns, and, I'll go from there. I'll just start. I did drive out there today. I saw the location, I saw the building. You guys are very well crammed in there. I can see it. Well, we can, oh, that's right. Okay, well, since we started, we'll do.
You're totally good,
we'll
you're
do
totally
B
good,
and C.
just tracking.
Yep, sorry. So we'll do B and C and get some people out of here.
Sounds great.
All right. So I did drive by there. I did see you are very well crammed in there. I did see where the open lot is. My concern would be the residential community there. There is residents that would back up on the north side of that and also across the street. But at this point, staff, we haven't heard from any town citizen as to an issue with expanding this area into the proposed zone.
We've not received any comments. We had gone out at one point and the public, hearing sign had been removed, so we replaced that as quickly as, that was brought to our attention. And it was down for maybe a day to 2 days. But beyond that, there hasn't been any public comment.
Okay. The other comment I'd put is, I like the layout, appreciate that, Mr. Neal. And I like the fact that it's all enclosed. I think that really cleans up the property. Not saying that it looks a little junky, but you got a lot of cars there, and you got some fencing. But I think by putting it all into one building and having it totally enclosed, I think would really look nice and straighten up the area over there.
I mean, that was my comment too, was the concern about the noise and the dust with it being all inside. I do take into consideration the future land use map as residential, but it doesn't seem like it's been plausible or, has anyone expressed interest? Just out of curiosity, just want to make sure that we do explore that it is future residential. Town, any
Not that I'm
staffing?
aware of. There's been some discussion about putting additional manufactured homes in the property next door. But I'm not aware
But nothing about that piece of property.
about that piece of property that I can recall offhand.
I mean, it aligns with the property next to it.
Yeah, it does. And the other thing I want to remind the commissioners is it is B3 right now. So as B3, as we all know, that's pretty wide open. So they could, in fact, put a gas station there.
Yep.
So, Mr. Neal, you had a comment?
If I may,
Sure.
we tried for both the previous owner and the current owner of the trailer park to modify and design and add in additional mobile homes, and it was never feasible both times for both owners because of the lay of the land and some of the other things, some of the other specific requirements and the way to get into the property, and because of the narrowness of it, doing residential just did not work. And we tried it for 2 different owners, actually, before this kind of came to fruition. So I just wanted to let you all know that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
The other thing we want to make sure we put up is the summary of the suggested conditions. We can put that up there. Because I think that's important to see exactly what's being done to screen the residential area. You make that.
I was like,
I can see it here.
I was like, I'm not even gonna try and see what you got up there, so I'm just gonna scroll.
Caroline's working her magic.
Oh, I can actually read that.
Much better.
And I will draw your attention to condition 1 and 2 that has the language that Mr. Neal was referring to, where the site generally as shown on the concept plan, and and then where it says the I think staff's, thought there, certainly willing to explore it more, was that, that we know where the location of the fence will be generally. Maybe not, everything on site, but we know where the location of the fence would be. And then also the screening trees as shown. So I think that was staff's, thought with striking, the word generally there, or proposing to strike the word generally.
Gotcha.
So you're saying that you want to strike out generally, so that way the fencing is locked in based on what we're seeing on the plan. Like the building might change slightly, but where the fence will be, at least based on what's been presented, we're good with locking that in. Is that correct?
As long as we're not breaking out,
The building, like
No.
length
as long as
and,
we're not breaking out microscopes, we're good. We're
Yeah,
good.
Right,
I
right,
think we're good.
yeah. No, absolutely. I think the general thought was right, that, that it's shown as that landscaping does need to be on that, on that southern side, and the fence does need to be around the perimeter, so that was the thought.
So I see, point number 5, maximum inoperable vehicles, within the fencing area. Will these be in the fencing area or mostly in the building itself?
It'd be within the fenced-in area, if they're
Okay.
waiting. The
Okay.
building itself is for the repair,
Okay,
and the fence would be opaque, with privacy slats.
right, right.
And we've got the large paved area in the back for those vehicles, and it's also for the security of the vehicles.
Sure.
And then, town council had updated the code about 4 or 5 years ago in order to allow for towing business or businesses like this to have more than 5 inoperable vehicles, because that would be the maximum otherwise, because recognizing that there are larger operations that's just not feasible, when you're dealing with a lot of vehicles.
Sure.
And if you do have the space and you're able to screen them, that would be part of the evaluation of whether 20 inoperable vehicles would be appropriate on,
Gotcha.
on the proposed site.
How many vehicles would you say you have out there now outside the building?
Outside the building, currently, if you went by there now, there's probably 8.
Okay.
is that a common number? Do you tend to have more, tend to have less?
The demand for collision repair in this area right now is very extremely high, so, it just depends on how the insurance companies schedule with us on the drop-offs. So it ranges anywhere between 8. Sometimes we have 10 in the parking lot and then some in the storage. But usually in a 5-day work week, right now, we're turning about 25 vehicles.
Nice.
So those are cars that are coming in each day and leaving by Friday. And by the end of the week, we're usually down to about 4 cars.
Thank you.
You guys think of any other items you put in here? I think it's pretty well covered.
This gate at the front, the top you pull in to get a quote or something like that. Parking lot next to the parking space. To go in the showroom.
Yes, sir, we have, if y'all could call up site plan. But yes, sir, there's a small parking lot, I think we have 8 or 10 spaces, off the top of my head. That'd be for customers pulling in, if they're like, hey, I wanna actually get some body work done or something.
Mhm.
And then the office space, with the front door, right there where the assessment parking space is, that'd kind of be that front corner of the building.
All the cars repaired in the back.
Yes. Or if they have a fully repaired vehicle and it's waiting for a customer to pick up, they might park it out there, then
Right.
just come by and pick up.
Makes sense.
I mean, I also appreciate like point number 14, as far as the noises outside of the hours, 7 PM to 7 AM, no noises. That seems like a fair for community members, residential living nearby.
And
I don't
the-
see-
The fence would be here, so this would be the parking fence.
I don't have any additional comments or questions.
Mr. Gary, any comments?
No comments. I will add to your point that, 13 also says there should be no loud offensive noises generally
Mhm.
to constitute a nuisance, so I like that.
Mark? Felix?
Nope, no, very little, effect on nearby residents, so.
Well, and like I said, I drove out there and I was a little concerned about the residential area, but I don't see anyone here tonight, or any complaints that have been lodged with staff as to putting this in here. And as I said before, and I always bring this up, it's, zone B3 right now, so B3 is wide open. You could put a lot of things in there that I would say, as a resident, I wouldn't want there. And so we're looking at a nice building that's gonna go up, enclosed, clean up the area. I think, overall, it's a good improvement. So, are we in a position to take some action tonight, or did you wanna hear anything else, or? Okay, so we have 2 points. 2 public, requests here. One is a rezoning, so I will take these separately and have a vote, unless staff, you can think of anything else while we,
If the motion would include as well the acceptance, with the proffers. Yeah,
With the
or just
proffers,
the
yes.
approval with the submitted proffers.
yes.
Which
Okay.
would go with, C, correct? The proffers, or is that going with B,
So that goes with the rezoning.
rezoning? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we'll take these separate. We'll take 5B, the rezoning, and with the proffers in place. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the rezoning request by Radford Development of Virginia LLC, stated in 5B of the Planning Commission agenda with the proffers listed in the packet.
Very good. Do I have a second? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Moving right along, since that passes, we'll go right into the conditional use permit for the same property to allow automobile, truck, recreation vehicles, assembly, painting, upholstery, repairing, rebuilding, and reconditioning body and fender work, including commercial garage, towing, service, and automobile body shops.
And
Do I
that
have
would
a
be-
motion?
And that would be with the conditions that were stated there.
Correct, and listed on
Yeah.
the screen. Correct.
Do I have a motion to approve this? Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, guys. All right, we're gonna circle back to, public hearing item 5A. You're welcome to leave if you wish, but you're welcome to stay as well. So
And
this-
congratulations on your business expanding, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so as we heard in the public hearing, there's a code amendment that's on the table tonight. It's in chapter 42, 42-9, simply stating some slight improvements as noted. I think it's pretty clear. Any concerns, issues, commissioners?
I had a question, and maybe I missed this in a previous meeting, but I'm generally in favor of this, but what would be the downside that parking would then spill over into public or illegal areas? Is that any-
Exactly, that is what the minimum parking requirement is to get at, to ensure that there isn't that spillover into residential streets, onto other commercial properties, and to cause impact that way. I think what we have seen over the years is, and there's been a movement, and we've done some here, is to right-size parking, to see kind of what is the market demanding. And I do think that this probably is more in line with right sizing of parking, to take out those areas that really the public aren't going in for. So there shouldn't be a proportional, or an equivalent car to that area, because it's not, it's not generating foot traffic.
Sure.
And so,
Excellent question.
It would make parking restrictions less stressful for someone trying to open a business.
Correct.
They would be required to have less number of parking spots, which could make it more feasible, especially some of our locations where parking is limited. If you include these non-accessible spots,
correct.
spaces in a building.
Correct, and in most cases, you're looking at, if it's a 10,000 square foot building or so, a reduction of 2 to 3 spaces. So it really is not, not a dramatic change, but it does make a difference when you're trying to maximize,
Yeah.
Yep.
Every spot matters.
the development of the land.
Very good. Good. Okay. So given that, do I have a motion to approve the amendment?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Okay, I did want to circle back to you, Mr. Neal, to remind you that it is our recommendation to town council, and they're going to have their own public hearing, and advise you to be there, as I know you will be. And that date is,
So the items that you heard this evening had 2 different dates. Mr. Neal's will be on March 12th.
okay,
And then the other items are scheduled for February 27th.
okay, all right, very good. All right, moving on to our last item, other business, agenda item 7. Staff, I'll let you open us up. Anything?
Wanted to remind you that we are counting down the days. We do have our new planning director that will be starting on Monday. So she will be at our next meeting, Retta Jackson.
Excellent.
And so I look forward to introducing her to you all.
And you indicated that she was town manager for Hillsville?
Correct. She's been there 10 or 11 years, so she has quite a bit of
Fantastic.
experience there.
Great.
Will we be meeting on March 4th, so we'll get to meet her then, or do we have things on the agenda?
Let me ask.
I'm actually looking directly at her, because I want to ask, I know who knows the answer.
Not because we took action on Badger Street,
Okay,
so the next, I believe, March.
okay, so we'll meet her
Okay.
then, if not, okay.
Yeah, we are expecting a conditional use permit to be submitted and rezoning, so you all would likely hear that on the 18th.
Perfect.
Very good. Commissioners, any updates from anyone?
I had a neighbor ask me a question about how you get speed bumps on a street. Who would they talk to about whether a street qualifies for speed bumps or not?
Okay, they can start with Randy or myself, and we probably work through the engineering department. There
Okay.
are a number of, processes, that would have to take place, warrants that would have to be met in order to, to look at what remedies would be. Speed bumps would be one of them that could be
together.
looked at,
Okay.
but not the only one.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm happy to talk with the resident more about it.
Okay, perfect. I will share that with them. Thank you.
All right, the only other thing I have is thank the commissioners for coming out tonight and taking some swift action. Always like to get things done here, and great questions, and you guys are always on top of things, so I thank you.
Wonderful.
And with that, meeting adjourned.
I feel so powerful.